Engaging celebrity interviews. Exciting updates from Christian filmmakers. Movie reviews so you can choose your movies wisely. And so much more here on Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure.
Hello and welcome to Faith on Film. So glad you've joined us for this week's episode of Faith on Film. How you doing, Holly?
Doing great, Isaac, and excited about the show today because this is a powerful movie we're going to talk about.
Yes, there's a movie that's out right now in theaters. It's called Sight, and it's a true story. It's a great true story. You're going to learn more about it because, Holly, you're going to get to talk to the director, and I think he was also a co-writer of the movie. His name is Andrew Hyatt.
That's right. Do you want to tell all the awards he won?
Well, he won, actually the movie got several awards at the 50th Annual ICVM Crown Awards, especially though I think the most prestigious one is, of course, Best Picture. So you know it's a great picture.
It is. And Andrew is a friend of mine. I've known him for several years, and he is an amazing director. We're going to talk about several of the movies he's done, but the movie Sight, you're going to love it. I love the movie, and you are too, but we're going to first take a look at the trailer, aren't we?
Yes, let's take a look at the trailer, and then we'll come back with you talking to Andrew.
You are the doctor, they say, who can work miracles.
Hello, Kajal.
Street beggars make more money if they're legitimately blind. So the stepmother poured sulfuric acid in each of her eyes.
Maybe 1% of vision remains. There's no chance to save it. She reminds me of Lily.
I know as long as we are together, we'll be okay. I will always protect you.
There is some part of me that thinks if I can help Kajal out of the dark, maybe...
Let's take her! No!
I can help Lily out of hers.
You cannot change the past, Ming.
She doesn't deserve to suffer anymore.
Doctor said it was impossible.
I have to succeed.
I'm with you, Ming.
There's some things in the past that I can't get over.
Who says you have to get over them?
Well, Andrew, we are excited to talk to you today because you have not only done movies in the past that we have seen and reviewed, as a matter of fact, and talked about, but you're working on several projects, and your latest one that we have seen in theaters is Sight. And I love this story. I saw the movie and was so emotionally moved by it, and more so than I thought I would be, and walked out, and there were some people that walked out with me, and I said, what'd you think about it? And I said, oh, we love this. More people should have been in this theater. More people should know about it. I think, the frustration is a lot of people don't know how great this movie is. So tell us about Sight and working on it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate. It's so good to see you again, by the way. And
Thank you.
Yeah, it was. You're absolutely right. This was a tough one because we made this film in 2021, so it was right in the midst of the COVID thing and all the things that came with that. So it's just like a very bizarre, surreal project to be on. And we came out of this with, I think, a beautiful film. But you're absolutely right. It's so inspiring, so hopeful. This is the true story of Dr. Ming Wang. And sort of his journey from communist China during the Cultural Revolution into America. And this guy goes on to basically become the greatest eye surgeon ever in history and changes the lives of millions of people around the world. He has done and continues to do. And it's... I'm with you. I wonder if it's such a foreign story, and I mean that with all pun intended, that the American audience is just catching up to the relatability of Ming's story.
Yes.
Is what I'm kind of finding is that when, like you said, when I find the audience is going to the theater and seeing this, they are having the same reaction of, this is incredible. How is this not more kind of out there?
Right.
And so,
how do we not know this story?
How do we not know this story?
It's
You're
a
absolutely right.
miraculous story. It's not just like, oh, he's smart and he invented stuff. This is a miracle story that, like you said, has changed lives, and it shows that. And plus, what he went through. What are the odds of coming out of the China at that time?
Amazing.
You know?
Amazing.
And getting here. You had Terry Chen as the actor for Ming Wang. He was wonderful. And Greg Kinnear, for those who love Greg Kinnear, is in this. And you also had, I think her name is pronounced Fionnuala Flanagan.
Yeah,
that's I want to say Fionnuala, but it's okay. Yeah. Andrew, I first fell in love with her in the movie The Others.
Oh, she's incredible. Incredible.
I was like, this woman's amazing. And I've seen her in other stuff. So I was like happy to see her in this film because she plays an important part as a nun in this story. But tell us about working with those actors, with Terry and with Greg and those.
Just incredible professionals. And, I've had the blessing and privilege of being able to work with kind of a range of actors in my career so far, from kind of these Shakespearean, incredible, James Faulkner, to Jim Caviezel, to younger actors that are kind of brand new on the scene. And this was special, though. You're right. Terry Chen is incredible. This was his first kind of leading man role, and so just to be able to kind of journey with him in that and walk him through just kind of the responsibilities of that. It was amazing to see how he really shines, and he did an incredible job. And Greg, Greg is as charming as he is in his films, he is in real life.
You love him. I've interviewed him before. He's just as nice as he is on screen.
He's just like the nicest, most genuine, charming man. So yes, that was incredible to have him around, and what helped, I think, with him around. And Fionnuala as well, as you said, she's been around so long. Yes. And such a storied, incredible career. Having Fionnuala and Greg kind of as our sort of vets, walking around set and making everybody feel comfortable, and there's just sort of a presence in that is really special, because we had a lot of young actors on set, a lot of new actors, and it's amazing what that kind of experience and just calmness and professionalism does to your entire set. That was really special. So yeah, thank you for bringing them up. They're incredible in it.
Absolutely. Now, you directed this movie, correct? And you also wrote it or co-wrote it?
Yes. Yeah. Co-wrote it. There were a couple writers before me. This was a long process that Ming and the producer David Fisher had been down many roads and trying to get this film done. As you know so well, in the independent space is it's a miracle every time a film gets done.
It is.
And they just kept at it, and they kept at it. And I don't know how many, I don't want to know how many drafts of the script that they went through and how many iterations. But when it came to me, it just came to me through a producer friend of mine, Darren Moorman. And, this is sort of a bizarre anecdote that you wouldn't, you look at me, you probably wouldn't think this, but my grandmother actually was born in Shanghai and grew up in Shanghai.
Wow.
And so I always felt, she has an incredible story herself of how she made it to America. And I have always had that on my heart of, I would love to have told her story or tell her story or something in that space. And it was just such a providential, crazy thing that this script lands on my desk from Darren about Ming. And I was like, this is crazy because how is this script getting to me?
Yes.
But I just said yes right away because it was truly kind of mind blowing that I had really had that on my heart for the last couple of years, and then to get Ming's story on my desk and say, "Oh wow, I could help bring this to life." That's really special. So,
you mentioned, and I don't want to divert too far from what we're talking about the movie, but you mentioned Jim Caviezel. So many don't know Paul the Apostle is also what you directed in that movie. So, I mean, and that's been a favorite. People love that movie. So I just want to remind people who the Jim Caviezel role was about, as well as others that you've done. But, you said it's a long process, and it was there family members who were at the beginning of the journey and then came with you that know about it? Because at the end, you show family members in it and who the real people, which I always love that, to see who the real people are. And, the little girl who was healed and with her eye. And I mean, did you have any contact with any of them when you were writing this?
We had Ming with us 24/7, which was incredible. The actual Dr. Wang. And so that kind of cultural experience, anecdotal experience. Oh, I remember when this happened. I remember being there in this room, and I remember this person said this. I mean, that's so invaluable to this kind of a process. And yeah, it's fascinating. For those that have seen the film, the little girl Kajal. We actually did find her about 6 months ago. We were on a search to see where is she, how's she doing, and again, I don't think this is a spoiler because but she's back in India, and she's a doctor now, which is incredible.
She's a doctor?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that, knowing that story.
She's in her 30s now, and she's a doctor. Isn't that incredible?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so that was probably kind of one of the probably more impactful moments, because I think, Ming's kept in touch with a lot of people, but he had lost touch with Kajal. And it was just one of those things where like, well, if the film's coming out, we need to see if she's okay, or we need to track her down. And
yes.
How cool though she's kind of following in the footsteps of Ming, which is amazing.
Okay, Andrew, tell people, because it won't be a spoiler, tell her what happens to the little girl, the real little girl in the movie, and why this is such a miracle. Why? I mean, people should go see the movie just for this. This will impact everyone.
Well, this whole concept of Ming coming to America, and he creates what essentially we kind of now understand as kind of the laser process of how to fix eyes. But then Ming goes a step further, and he invents this technology that essentially recreates, and I love that we're talking about this because this is perfect for the audience on your podcast, but Ming creates what essentially God has already created in the womb, which is this concept of babies don't scar in the womb because the amniotic fluid in the womb allows them to heal the way the body intended to heal, which meaning scarring happens when you scar. It's because your body's trying to fight off infection, so it heals too quickly. It's layering too quickly. And in the eyes, which is kind of the point of this film about blindness, and this little girl from India comes to Ming, who is blind, and nobody's been able to fix this. And essentially what Ming discovers, and this is in real life too, not just the movie, he discovers that, wait, what if we were to trick the eye that it was back in the womb?
Yes.
And what if I were to create this contact lens that has the amniotic fluid on it that tricks the body into thinking, I can heal slowly and properly. I don't need to scar to fight off infection. And so in this film, Ming, we kind of go through the discovery process and all the things, the journey, the fun montages and all the things to get to this point where he creates this new technology. Again, all true story. And he uses it on this little girl. And it's just an incredible tale, I feel, of faith and how God and science, this was always the big thing we talked about with Ming himself while we were writing it and filming it, this of like Ming realizing this gift of he's so smart, but he clearly recognizes that there is no way his life from China to America to who he is today works without God providentially moving through it in such a way that has given him this sort of these genius aha moments. He's very quick to say, it wasn't me. There was something that popped into my brain, and there was a connection from my past, and all these unbelievable things, that we all probably have in our own lives of, if we look back and say, how did I get here today? And so, sorry, that was a long way to get what happens to not only Kajal, but also Maria, this other kind of a focal point of the film, is truly a miracle. And there's a little bit of play on that. You'll see that it's not exactly the miracle we think it should be, but to your point, beautiful Fanula Flanagan delivers such a powerful scene in the church towards the end of the film. Again, not spoiling it, but just reminding us all of what exactly is a miracle. Is it healing physically, or is there something deeper that's going to happen?
I also want to point out, and if this is true, tell me if it is or just was for the movie. But the little girl, her mother poured acid in her eyes to make her blind so she could raise money because she was poor in India. And the little girl then would be sent out to raise money. Well, the nun takes her in and saves her to say, no, this is not her fault. Her mother did this to her eyes. So to me, to hear the story of how now she's a doctor, I would even just love that to be interjected in. That makes it even better because of that full circle, how God brings her now to heal others. Wow.
Yeah, incredible stuff. And yes, you're right. Yeah, true story. The stepmother, kind of the setup is in India. Yeah, you can make more money begging in the streets if you're legitimately blind, not faking it. And so, yeah, just a horrible situation. But to your point, how amazing does God work to connect little Kajal? This would have been in the probably late 90s, early 2000s. Connect Kajal to this wonderful nun, a very Mother Teresa type woman who takes her in along with others. And then it's just incredible. How does she come into the path of Dr. Wang? And what I love about this story and the true story too is, and the audience will see or has seen that essentially like Kajal coming into Ming's life, initially Ming is so passionate about, I have to heal this little girl, as we all would be, right? But it's so beautiful how it's actually the reverse, how little Kajal coming from India in the situation that she is actually changes Ming's life and changes his whole perspective of what life is and what this is about. And there's something so beautiful about that kind of, we think, especially in America, right? We think we're always going to be the saviors and we're going to do it and we're going to figure it out. And it's so beautiful to watch this little girl change this genius doctor because it's just who she is and the spirit she has, which is beautiful.
Yes. And we won't give it away, but she heals him in a way that she doesn't even realize, but that God knows and God uses. Okay, what else are you working on that we can look forward to? Anything coming up? And, I know you did The Blind that came out, I think, last fall.
That's right. Yeah. The Phil Robertson Duck Dynasty story. Yep. The Blind. Yes. That's out now. And also a beautiful redemption story in a different way, but I love that family. I love that story. And just thank you for mentioning that. And I'm in an interesting spot right now because, as you know, and your podcast handles so well, Hollywood is a mess at the moment, and it's struggling to find its identity. It's struggling to know what stories to tell, and I think that I'm witnessing, and I know you are witnessing as well, like in real time, these other kind of beautiful companies and forces that are now telling the stories that we want to continue to tell.
Yes.
And it's happening, whether that's Angel Studios or Fathom Events or Sony Affirm. There's a lot of places now that are kind of trying to, even Lionsgate and some major studios, Netflix and Amazon, if you can believe it, are now thinking, maybe we should make content for this massive audience that loves this stuff. And so I'm in this beautiful spot where it's totally open hand. whatever God wants next, I'm ready to go. And there's many things that have come across my desk, but I just want it to be something that that gives light to the world right now, brings some beauty, some truth, and so I'm open. And so sorry, that was I'm rambling around the question. There are some things, but I never want to say we're doing this because, as you know, it's so hard.
Yes.
To make these things, and I just want God to say it's this one. This is the next one. This is what you're doing.
Right.
And so I'm waiting for the call.
And that's the way it works. And I like that you acknowledge that there are other avenues, because now that Hollywood is so woke, and they thought they were so cool being so woke, and what they've done is they've turned off the audience that was going to theaters and supporting their movies, and probably still is in many ways. But they're also the audience are like, nah, I don't have to see another horror movie. I don't have to see another thriller. I don't have to see another woke comedy with a lot of sexual situations that I don't approve of. So now, we're being offered other alternatives, and I love it. I just love that, Angel Studios having success with the movies they're coming out with, other independents, like you said, Lionsgate and others. We're seeing it, the Kendrick brothers are getting ready to come out with their movie, which we know. So I love it that there are uplifting films like yours and others that people have the option to go see. Where can we see Sight when it's no longer in theaters, or if it's no longer, do you know where it'll be available?
Right. So the next window, which should be here in a couple of weeks, it'll be kind of wherever you like to kind of view things. So it'll be, YouTube, Amazon, kind of all the rental things that you can find online. Okay. And then after that, it'll be exclusive to the Angel platform. So I know they're doing incredible things. I'm still kind of making my way through so much of their content, which it's great stuff. And so I would urge those, if you don't have an Angel, studios pass or whatever they call it, get one of those, because they've got some great, especially if you have kids. I don't know if this Wing Feather series is really fun. Yeah. It's really enjoyable. And so my kids love that. And so again, we just hope there's so many more of these that keep being built and put out the content that we know is beautiful and true. And we'll continue to just, as I think they say, what's their term is amplify light, I believe is the Angel Studios thing. So maybe we can all just keep doing that in our own way.
Well, Andrew, congratulations on Sight. It won ICVM several awards with that. So it's an award-winning film, and it's something people should see. And the Sight will be so much more than just the movie. It'll be a spiritual journey as well. So I love that play. So good to talk to you again and connect with you again, and keep us in touch with other projects you have coming up. As always, we've appreciated seeing you and having you on. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's so good to see you. Talk soon. Hey, this is Andrew Hyatt. I'm the writer-director of the new film Sight that is in theaters near you. And I just wanted to say I love this podcast, and you are watching Faith on Film.
Holly, wonderful interview. Thank you. But you also recently had a chance to interview Dallas Jenkins. It was part of an online press event that I guess he held. And you got to ask him a specific question, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It was about season 4, but he was also answering other questions about the legal things. But let's take a look at the clip, and I'll comment after.
Okay.
Hey, Holly and I go way back. Hi, Dallas. Are you planning on expanding your Midlothian set to continue the storyline into season 7 and maybe after? Yes. So we've already done some building in our set here in Midlothian that expands just out of Capernaum, which is because our set is mostly covers Capernaum, but we now, because the Utah set doesn't have everything that we need, and so we built a few new things here on the set in Midlothian. And I'm telling you, I cannot wait. I hope you guys get to visit. I don't know when you're visiting, but we'll show you a couple of the sets that we're doing on the stage that are, they're unbelievable. I've already been blown away. And so we've got some stage sets that we're building that are going to help us not only in this season, but in season 6 and 7. And then, yes, hopefully we will get to do more things beyond just this show, and that we will use this set for more than just the period of the Gospels.
I love Dallas. He is so funny. I just think he's like, oh, Holly, she's a friend of mine. I love it, though. But, it was interesting him talking about what they're going to, and the reason I ask is he was talking about what they're going to do at Midlothian and building on to their sets because, of course, they have to go into season 5, 6, and 7.
Yes.
But I also know for a fact that they're going to do something after this finishes, after The Chosen finishes with these disciples. I've got this feeling they're going to go on into a New Testament story, either with Paul, because remember, you'll still have the disciples in there.
Sure.
They'll still be involved with Paul, or talking about what the disciples work, or something, New Testament. So, this is a franchise that's doing so well, and they've got dreams and visions beyond, because a lot of people just love this. They're changing so many lives and strengthening faith of so many who've never even heard about the Bible or Jesus. Also, he does address the problem that they had with Angel Studio and the lawsuit, but I'm not going to go into that, because if you're curious about what he says about it on the Chosen site, on the app that they have, or when you go to chosen.com, he does have a full-length explanation on there, which listen to what his explanation is. Dallas is a gentleman. He's kind. He had a friendship relationship with Angels, so he's not trying to burn bridges, but there was some financial things that they have to think about and take into account. And it is a business, folks. It's show business. It's not show friendship. I always have to remind people of that, because it's a business. So, but again, done in Christian love, and I think he explained it very well. So if you're curious about that, yes, there was some problems, but yes, it's been solved. Now they've got season 4 on. They're filming season 5. I'm hoping we get to go to a studio. Chosen Con is coming up in the fall. So they are moving on and moving forward, and I just love that. And didn't we love the interview with Andrew about Sight? I mean, I love hearing all those things, especially about Hollywood, Isaac.
Yes.
I found that very interesting, what he said about Hollywood and how the change is happening.
Yeah. And, what's exciting about that, it's not so much that, I'm so glad Hollywood is in a mess right now, but the fact that it's opening up opportunities for independent filmmakers. In fact, obviously even non-Christian ones, but for us as faith-based filmmakers, it's opening up a lot of great opportunities, isn't it?
Well, what they're doing too is they're recognizing that there is a large faith-based audience, and there is a large faith-based audience of Jews and Catholics and Christians and all different kinds. But Hollywood doesn't really probably understand all of it, but they are seeing the numbers coming in and the support when we have these independent films come out, how it's being supported. And a lot of their movies are not, and they realize that there's a woke problem. And so it's the sad part is Hollywood got so infected with the bad, it's hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube, and I think it's going to be very hard for them. But they're again looking, Sony, Lionsgate, MGM, they're looking to Christian filmmakers, so it's exciting for us and for the future of good films. So we're happy with that.
And as more of these come out, of course, we're going to be right there to let you know all about them, Holly. Well, that's it for today, Holly.
Great show. Thanks, Isaac. Thanks, everyone. God bless.
Bye-bye now.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Faith on Film TV, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications on our latest Faith on Film shows.